Hey, we're live.
We made it.
Of course we made it. Of course we made it. Hey, another week. This is week 3 of 10 straight weeks of Pete and I providing you tips, advice, everything and anything that you need
and
to know.
them teaching us things as well, right? We've learned things along the way. It's not just one-way communications here.
That is true, because I took some conversations off of the audio, and Noah had some great conversations with people, and I did learn a few things. So, Pete, what are we gonna share with everybody today?
Well, I think let's do a quick recap of where we've been, and then that'll feed right into where we want to go. And
Perfect.
Everybody, if you want to put some things in the comments, let us know where you're calling in from tonight, where you're joining us. But the last 2 sessions, we talked a little bit about how to network, how to engage, what to do on LinkedIn, because whenever it comes to these people relationships and really building connections, this is a tool that we're able to use, right? Commenting on posts, searching for keywords, looking for connections of your connections was a good tip that we talked about. Those comments that we put onto other people's posts, at least 5 words. Some people say between 5 and 8, but like if we just put up like great or love or cool, that's not really going to help them out so much. Really being authentic and sharing who you truly are. You shared a little bit about your growth, David. Congratulations. I think up to almost 115,000 people from around the globe cheering you on. And that's the big piece of how you grow on the platform, is to give, right, of your time and to support others. Today, David, we're going to talk a little bit about, kind of what not to do on LinkedIn, especially whenever we're reaching out to these connections cold, right? We heard last time, hey, maybe I want to find a mentor. I want somebody else to help me as I start building out my personal board of advisors. I'll give you a quick book update a little bit later. But that's what we're going to talk about today, is the what not to do. So if you want to get ready to share some stories, think about those slimy sales outreaches. Think about some of those frustrating posts. I think somebody said, hey, this is like another version of Facebook, right? Share some of what all of you think ought not to happen here.
Well, yes, but before that, and we got lots of comments in the comment section, so thank you, and we will get to those. But I gotta share this. I need everybody watching us right now to put hashtag best week ever in the comments, because at the end of the show, I'm going to give away my LinkedIn online course, so you can level up. And if you're a job seeker, there might be a template or 2 in there for resumes and cover letters and some other things. But I'm giving away that for free. And by you just attending today, you're going to get entered in to win my coaching course that we'll give away on week 10. Every time you attend an event of ours, you get entered. My VA will go in and check everybody and make sure that everybody's entered to win. So during the show, I need you to make sure that you're putting in hashtag best week ever in the comments, and people are listening. I like it. So make sure, and then we will draw, and we'll do it live so everybody can see it, and we'll draw and give that away. So we got a bunch of people here just waiting to hear all your amazing advice, Pete.
Where did this advice come from, right? Doing things the wrong way. So I'm curious if anybody has a burning question or an experience. Maybe we hear it in the comments here, see it, right? Of what not to do, or something that really frustrated you. We have a couple of things that we'll talk about. Ought not, good analogy. Yeah, we the people should not allow the U.S. government to lie. That's interesting. Take there, Byron. Let's see what else comes through here. Hey, Pauline, good to see you here. Pauline, we have to talk soon. My first book is getting ready to come out in September, so want to learn from the best. If anybody hasn't connected with Pauline, go check it out. Masculine, positive masculinity, and how we can bring together the male and female in the workplace. So do we get so many sales messages? Yeah, David, let's talk a little bit about that one from Andrea. If you want to pull it up for a second here. No pitch slap. That is a fantastic one. Wow, I absolutely love it. So, has anybody reached out to you, David, and they send you a couple of messages, and they're like, "Hey, here's a message," and then 20 minutes later, here's another message, and then a day, 3 days, 5 days. Like, man, we love a good sequence, but sequence is gone wild.
The ones I love are, I know that you're in the process of writing a book. I really love the ones that are a book. I mean, they're right. You can't
Yeah.
even you can't even fit it on the screen. You gotta scroll to see it. I am not going to read that. So yes. Now back in the day, it was Bitcoin. It was Bitcoin this and Bitcoin that. Not so much anymore. But now it's, hey, I have a project I think you would be a good fit for. Let's figure out how we can best, figure out how you can, take over this project and good. It'll be some good cash flow. I hear that. Yeah, it's all the time. Pitching projects and whatnot. Those never work. Look, and I know those people are maybe desperate or they think it's supposed to work. It's a slow process. Building your network, you have to nurture it. Now, if you're in sales, great. Build build connections and relationships now. 6 months from now, then you might be able to sell. Right? So, and people say, "Well, I don't have that time." Well, if you would have started that 6 months ago, maybe you would have the time to do that. So again, it varies. I get way too many of them. I usually block them almost right away just because I don't have time, especially if they keep messaging me. Let me see if I can find some good questions here.
So let's think about, when those actually go right, because there are a lot of tools that we can use out there that will send out a sequence. And I think I haven't done this actually, but I think through maybe this is a good teaching moment and a topic for a follow-on, right? How can we do some of these things and tools that integrate to LinkedIn? That'd be a good one. But I think building that relationship, right? Asking a question I love to ask to people is, hey, Elizabeth, what are the actions that your organization has taken since your last employee engagement survey, right? And I'm legitimately curious about
Sure.
what her response or the organization, what they've done. And if it comes back as we don't do them, we do them this way, we're all set. It's really from a curiosity perspective. And there's a lot of times where I'll reach out and I'll have a relationship with somebody and I end up giving and there's no sales opportunity. But I think that's how I do sales, right? And it's just building the relationship and seeking to add value before you ever look to, ask for something, right? But just starting off with a genuine question. And I love the piece of, writing a book. We don't want to read a book.
No, that's right. I'm pulling up some other ones. Hey, hi, beautiful. Yes. Even us guys, get some, hey, handsome, I live near you, even though they don't, let's, can we figure out how to chat off of LinkedIn? Get that an awful lot. Let me see.
You're a good-looking guy, David. Hey, I mean, let's not take that away from you.
Well, hey, okay, yeah, but I don't mind if my wife, says that or whatever. But that's
So
really
flirting on LinkedIn, you're saying that as an introductory message is not one of the best tips to use. Noted.
well,
Okay.
yeah. Now, if you're single, and that leads to something later. But don't start off like that, right? You don't go to a bar. Well, maybe you do. You go to a bar and you say, "Hey, beautiful." It's probably not a good strategy. You got to work up to that.
We might pull that pitch slap out again and see how that goes.
We're getting so many comments that let's see here. All right, everybody. Yes, again, what types of messages have you received? Maybe the ones that you enjoy, receiving. So, okay, Pete. All right. What is
Hey, Bob.
your approach
Yeah.
to build? Like everybody says, well, build your network. Build your network. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does one do that?
Yeah, so I have a couple more on the what not to do's. We'll come back to that in a moment. But I'm a big fan of the personal board of advisors. And so looking for the mentor that's in my function, right? I search on LinkedIn. I like to do this inside my organization, but I try and find these different people, right? I have a little bit of a plan before I get started. I'm looking for somebody that's been in my shoes, right? Building a tech company in the early stages. Okay, cool. I'm looking for somebody that's in a different function, but they're in a leadership capacity. If I'm an engineer, maybe this is a lawyer or somebody in comms, right? They have had different experiences, but I can still learn from them leader to leader. I also like to look for an ally, right? Somebody that's different from me, can bring different perspectives. And there's a whole list of those different barriers that we can go across, right? Also look for somebody that could be my buddy, right? We've kind of developed some of this. You are, my accountability partner in some instances. We're kind of in the trenches working on a couple of different projects together, giving, feedback to one another. So first we have to figure out, I go through the hiring process. There's 8 steps of the hiring whenever it comes to building these relationships. And it's figure out what you desire first and then go into inquire for the what you're looking for is what comes next. So you got to have a plan first.
Okay, no, totally agree. Again, trying to add value. Let's expand on trying to add value. So, engaging and TJ is constantly adding value, but if you're maybe you're not posting much on LinkedIn, go and seek out 10 to 15 people. You follow them, you hit their little bell so you get those notifications when they post.
David, could you share your screen and show us what that looks like, maybe?
Oh, yes. I'm so happy you said that. So here we go.
Elizabeth, congratulations. I'd absolutely love to hear more about that. I love whenever things go the right way and you get those improvements.
All right, here we go. All right, so let's go follow. You know what? Let's go to Pete's. Let's go to Pete's profile.
So we just typed that into the top bar, clicked on it. There we go.
Oh, look at that. We'll talk about that at a later in the next show. So congratulations again on that. So let's unfollow Pete for a second. Don't worry, Pete. We'll get you back. All right. Regardless even if you're not connected to somebody, the minute that you follow somebody, and this was a game changer on like LinkedIn added this, I think last year. When you follow somebody, I want you to watch right about here, everybody. When you hit follow, this little bell pops up. Now, if I click on it again, now every time Pete posts content on LinkedIn, it will show up in my notifications. Now, sometimes it is within a few seconds. Other times it's within a few minutes or an hour, whatever LinkedIn decides to do that day. But most of the time it will post in a timely manner. Now, regardless of why I'm following Pete, maybe he's a potential client or what, regardless of why. But now I can give a thoughtful comment on his post. Yeah. And let's say Pete gets an awful lot, and I know you do. Let's say you get an awful lot of comments and engagement. Well, if I'm one of the first people to engage on that post or article or whatever it is, poll, well, that might be seen by an awful lot of people.
Right.
And that's how I got on the radar of a few true influencers on LinkedIn with millions of followers. I was commenting, engaging on their content daily. I think eventually I just wore them down and they just felt they threw me a bone and connected with me. And don't assume that if somebody has more than 30,000 followers, that they're maxed out at 30,000 connections, because you do max out. Don't assume that, but engage with the people that you want. You follow them, ring that bell.
So David, sometimes you click that bell and it says like top posts or just some posts. Do you have any idea whenever you see like that, the options versus just this?
Sure. So on the LinkedIn mobile app, you will have those 3 options when you hover over that bell.
Mhm.
And just make sure that you click that top one, and then you'll get notified every time. The other one will say just their top posts, and I don't know what that means. So I just click see all, get notified of all the posts. There's three little options there. When
So
you're
this is
on
what
the
it looks like
link.
on mine, if you can see. That's for David. So I actually have the middle one on yours right now for top posts, because I usually in my feed already are your all of your posts, and we'll be
Sure,
able to see those
sure.
ones.
But such a good best practice. This was one of the best things that LinkedIn ever did, because before this, I had a Excel spreadsheet that I, was making sure that I was going to these people every so often. And why? Having this here, it'll show up in your notifications. You don't need to go follow and hit the bell of 1,000 people. Just those targeted people, the people that are important to you, whether you work with them or regardless of why. Such a good best practice.
And then you can always turn it off as well, right? If you don't want to keep
Oh,
getting those notifications in your top of your news feed, and in the bell on your side, then you don't have to unfollow them, but you can do that.
yes.
The other one, good comments over here. Thanks everybody. Yep, short messages, building the right network for the right reasons. Yep, 100%. There's been something recently, David, going around the franchise thing. Hey, you look, and sometimes they'll even get my name wrong. They'll say I just like did something with Amanda Kazi Cryer,
Okay.
and she's getting to be healthy again, everybody. So our prayers are paying off. But it said, "Hey, Amanda, coming to me, right? You look like a good person that wants to open a franchise and do more of this." I think I've gotten 27 of those in the
Oh,
past like 6 months. I don't know if you've gotten any of them, but it's just like jumping right into it. So I don't know if you've seen that or heard that, but not going straight into things, right?
sure.
um, again, seeking first to understand and adding value to the other person, right? Do you want to actually build a relationship with them, or are you just here to jam something down their throat? People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy, even if that's just a relationship.
Oh, yes. Now, I must say there was this gentleman a couple years ago. He was a Bitcoin fanatic or whatever, but he did it right. He engaged with my content, and then over about almost a year, he had said something one time, and I just wanted to know more about. I was not going to buy, and nor did I. But we took a brief call so I could just learn a little bit more. Just to educate myself. It wasn't going to be. I just that's something. But it had sparked something, and I would have never done that initially if he would have hit me. Right in the beginning
Yep.
with that. Hey, you think Bitcoin should be a part of your portfolio? No. But again, it's how he did it. So again, when we develop even just a little bit of a relationship, that sell becomes a little easier, or maybe because I was the one that initiated that conversation and asked, "Hey, could we have a call?" So he played it really good. So again, we just can't be desperate. Selling is never about selling. It is about listening, presenting, listening again, and maybe a trial close, maybe, but it's an awful lot of listening, and you have to be patient. You almost have to not want the sale, because otherwise you're going to sound maybe a little desperate
Yeah,
there.
and I've learned through a Sandler sales training. Shout out to Dan for coaching me through some of this. That the mindset you go into any conversation with is so powerful, right? And the mindset of I don't need this, right? I don't need to have anything from you. I have plenty of money in the bank. I have plenty of other deals. So not asking, not seeming, not coming off like you're needy, right? You're not desperate in any kind of conversation, so that you can fully engage and make the most of your time there, I think is a very important one. What are some of the outreaches you've done, David? Right, you see somebody that, hey, maybe you would like to be a mentee of theirs. Maybe they could be a sponsor or a champion on your personal board of advisors. How might you go about just building that relationship the right way? And along the way, maybe you share kinds of, maybe hiccups that you're like, okay, now this is what I do, but before maybe I didn't quite do it like that. You know what I mean?
Sure. So, and then I'll share something about job seekers that kind of goes with that. So,
Yeah.
for me, it is how do you get to know somebody without maybe getting on a call? And I really do think it's through their content. I think that's the easiest way. It's to engage. Maybe it's not every day, but you're showing up. It's like you're showing up at their stage and they're giving a speech almost, right? Because they're presented this piece of product, which is their post, and you're showing up consistently. And then if you message them something about, hey, that was just a great post. I learned this and whatever. Again, then maybe they respond. So again, you have to be in it for the long game. And uh, that is what I did for a year on LinkedIn, even before I posted. Somebody taught me engage, 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 and that's what I did. And by engaging, I grew my followers because people were seeing my thoughtful comments on other people's posts. And people assumed that like I maybe was in this industry because I was commenting on other people's posts that maybe
Yeah.
I wasn't in that industry. So again, I think that's the easiest thing to do. Now, for job seekers on LinkedIn go after recruiters, hiring managers, and HR. And that is a big mistake. Recruiters get bombarded all the time by people on LinkedIn. Messaging people in the same or similar role on LinkedIn of the job you want to apply for. Let's say you see a job as a project manager at Amazon.
Yeah.
Reach out to other project managers at Amazon. This is great for two things. One, they know transferable skills. They're going to be able to see what you've done and know what you can do. And what if there is a referral bonus in it for them for referring you and getting you hired? So you have to know on LinkedIn who to go after and then how to go. And if anybody wants those scripts, I'm more than happy to provide them to anybody. If you just DM me, I'll send you a link to have those for free.
Because you
But
would be engaging with their posts first, right? Like, comment at least five
yes,
to eight words. And
yeah,
you would do this for 5 days, a week, maybe. What if they don't post very often? What if I see this person? Oh my gosh, this is perfect. They haven't
sure.
posted for 11 months. Can we still go ahead and engage on that post?
Oh, sure. Even if it's
Okay.
maybe it's an older post. I don't want
Yeah.
you to go in and like every post they've done for 8 months. Okay. Yeah, that's a little spammy almost, but you can sure. I mean, look at their featured section. Maybe they have some other things. Maybe they have a website that you can take a look at and then provide some feedback on what you learned, right? And it's okay to tell people what it is you do without selling. Tell
Right.
them, hey, this is a little bit about what I do. I really enjoy what you do. Maybe it's not directly related to what I do, but I can respect, this, and just tell them what you do. If you do that, they will respect you more than just again getting that pitch. And
We can also do this with our headline, right? Making them aware of what we
yes,
do. So while they're seeing the engagement, they're able to understand. So making sure that's clear. And yeah, to what Raki is saying down there, be genuine. Yep, 100%. The authenticity shines through time and time again. And I think Debbie just a little bit ago might have said something else, right? Is just they want to know what you actually care about. Whenever you figure out, like, hey, does this person actually, did they take the time, right? Were you able to learn something about me? Maybe I shared a story about, my grandpa's birthday or something. Hey, happy birthday to your grandpa. Love the videos on the farm, Pete. Actually, I'm headed to Pittsburgh soon, and I was wondering about this. Right, so there's that balance of going the whole way down where they trying to build be my buddy, trying to be my friend, right? So it's a
sure.
balance still, but it's a nice piece of like, whoa, they took a few moments of their precious time to learn a little bit about me before I reached out. That's where, if you're using these AI tools and the crawlers and different things, maybe they can do that. I don't know. But that's where it gets to be a little bit tricky. So that authenticity really shines through.
And Pete, I can think back when I've made a true connection or on somebody's post or or vice versa, on my post. It's when the post has nothing to do with what I do. Maybe I showed maybe it was a silly, I still remember a poll I did that got 9,000 votes. Most important poll of the day on social media, Starbucks or Dunkin', vote or other. And oh my gosh, people were like opinionated. Like, I hate Starbucks. They're the, big corporate, right? I like this smaller, brand, or this, coffee shop or whatever. But there was so much engagement with the other, people that were engaged, not just engaging with me, but engaging with, again. So when I've made true connections, it's maybe, again, they shared, they're celebrating, family member's 80th birthday, whatever it is. But because you do not have to, this is not some boring business platform that you always have to be posting about, work related, stuff. You can share as little or as much as you want, but you can share that, hey, you were fired on your, share a story, you were fired on your honeymoon. And then, that's another.
There's another piece to build off of there, David, is whenever we're following those different people and we rang their notification bell, it's interesting to look at who else is commenting and engage with those other comments. And I've actually formed a couple of relationships with people that I'd like to be in my tribe. So by following the people that are following your folks, right, to learn more from them. And I actually will learn from some of those people as well. What are they doing? What are the articles they're sharing? What they're up to? So it's kind of going deeper and deeper into that exploration phase, not just that first level of the people you follow, but then what they're doing. And then as you engage more, right, support them, build them up peripherally, then you're able to see even more. David, I see you brought another comment up here from Nadia.
Oh yeah, and hello Nadia, and hope you're all done moving. But I'm going to answer Nadia's question by sharing some other comments. How about block, block, block? Did I mention ignore and block? It's hard for me. Sometimes you want to go deep and just start messaging them back. I tell you what, save some brain cells and just block them, right away if you get some trolls and some haters.
David, how does that work? Could you share your screen and maybe show
how
we could block somebody? They keep coming back to you. And
well, we don't want to block.
Well, no, go ahead. Figure out like where do I find this on the profile, right?
Sure.
Don't
All right.
Click it.
That's easy. You can remove their comment from your post, but easiest thing to do if you want to block somebody, you go to their profile, click more, click report/block. Now, I do highly suggest, if you know this is a fake account, if this is a fake account, and they're kind of easy to spot, and maybe we talk about that later, but report it, because we don't need or want them, here on LinkedIn, potentially, spamming somebody or, ripping somebody off. So, but anyway, here you can, you can report or block people. So it is super, super easy to do.
And if we put in a little bit of verbiage in there of the why, then I think they take it a little bit more seriously, they being some of the reviewers inside the LinkedIn team.
Oh yeah, and that we've had some mutual friends that get fake. Maybe they have more than a few followers, right? And they get somebody to create a fake account as them. Then the team wants to. I mean, the friends and connections. We want to report that, because if enough of us report that fake account, it'll get taken down pretty darn fast there.
David, should we look at the giveaway stats or anything on that right now?
Yep, we're going to give it away. So last chance, hashtag best week ever. Let's make sure hashtag best week ever. We'll do that for just 1 minute. And we had a lot of comments here today. So I will get back to you later for most of these, because wow, we had a huge showing today. We could go for hours answering these, but we're going to respect everybody's time. So, all right. So let's do this. So.
And while he's pulling this up, what we're going to talk about next week, I think we're actually, if we're doing an audio event, we can't really do the roasts of the profile.
Sure.
But that was the plan, to do some roasts of the profile. So between diving in a little bit more on the personal board of advisors and your career map, what that looks like, and the profile roast, you're not going to want to miss either one of those topics. Back to you, David.
Oh yeah, and yes, be lookout. Next time we do, in 2 weeks, when we do our video live, we're gonna roast some profiles. All right, so here we go. So you got to watch this, Pete. This is so cool. So we have 24 entries, and here we go. Oh, Pete, I saw your name. You can't win.
We'll just have to run it back again.
All right. Hey! I love it. Look at that. That's like if any of you have watched AGT, America's Got Talent, when somebody hits that golden buzzer, that's what it looks like. Gold confetti. Hey, you know what? Just because, Pete. Just because. Let's draw again. One more. I'll give away one more, and that's it. Now remember, every time you show up between now and week 9, you get entered. All right. I love it. Every time you show up, you get entered to win my LinkedIn one-on-one coaching program, valued at about $1,900. So we'll give away that on week 10. Every time you show up, you'll get an entry to win. So we had a couple great winners. Oh my gosh. I mean, we have comments here for days. So thank you, everybody, for showing up today. I will message you on LinkedIn. Let's make sure we connect, and I'll message you on how to take advantage of that LinkedIn online course.
Nice. Well, David, let's see. We just put Elizabeth's name in the chat here, and then we'll just say congrats, Lydia Chang. There we go. Congrats, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. You'll see the invitation coming out very soon for the event next week. Again, we're going to go back to that audio format. So think about your stories. It was a lot of fun whenever we were able to bring people up onto the stage and just kind of share, hey, here's my question, here's my thought. And this is really going to be focused around kind of who are those people on my personal board. Maybe you've heard this called your advisory board, personal board of directors. They teach about this in business schools. It's not a new concept, but it's something that we've been refining. I'm giving another presentation about it in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. So if anybody's coming to the Disrupt HR event, come check it out. But bring your questions, bring your ideas, bring your thoughts and comments, and keep bringing the energy. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, David.
Hey, everybody. No, thank you, Pete. Hey, everybody. We had a great time. See you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's it, Pete. Pete, see you on LinkedIn.